I now have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, Hsu. Hsu is the president of Fortune Electric America, where he leads the company's efforts in pioneering clean energy solutions across the global market. With over 20 years of experience at Fortune Electric, Alex has worked his way up from sales to director and now to president. His extensive journey within the company has equipped him with deep expertise in both engineering and business strategy. Today, he oversees the entire Americas division, driving innovation and sustainability in the clean tech sector. Alex's leadership continues to shape Fortune Electric's mission to deliver cutting-edge, energy-efficient solutions for a more sustainable future. Please join me in welcoming Hsu.
Thank you. Thank you, Kendrick, for the lovely introduction. Thank you, Marcus, Lenny, for the invite. Thanks to Greg and his team, put the whole thing together. I'm very honored to be here today. Let's start. Taiwan. It's a very unique place. You might have heard of it because of delicious bubble tea. Here are some bubble tea flavor mochis. My team told me that unless I pass out food, people are not going to stay. Or perhaps you heard of Taiwan because one of the tallest buildings in the world, Taipei 101 building, a 101-story building in a heavy seismic zone. That's quite an engineering marvel. Or perhaps you heard of Taiwan because its semiconductor industry, which has the majority share of high-tech chips in the world. Most of you probably have some of their products in your cell phone, computer, or consumer electronics. Taiwan is also an island that embraces green energy. Increased from its original 5% in 2020, by the end of this year, 2025, 20% of the overall energy consumption on the island will be from renewable energy sources. Taiwan Strait is also a major development site for offshore wind farm thanks to its strong and steady wind. All of these are just part of the broader policy to reduce the coal usage, enhance usage of liquefied natural gas, LNG, and transition the country to nuclear-free in the coming future. By the year 2050, Taiwan will be net zero. Following this trend of excellence, Taiwan is also the birthplace and current headquarters of Fortune Electric. Good morning. My name is Hsu. I'm the president of Fortune Electric America. Fortune Electric is a Taiwanese-based, fully integrated power equipment manufacturer. Our bread and butters are transformers. If you're not familiar with transformers, in layman's term, transformer transform electricity from one voltage to another. It raises the voltage up after generation, maintain the voltage throughout transmission, and reduce it again for distribution. There are transformers needed in various applications and various stages within the electrical grid. Believe it or not, we can't have a robust grid without transformers. There are large to small transformers scattered all around the grid. That sounds like a pretty good business, huh? My kids always ask me, Daddy, Fortune Electric makes transformers. How come you guys don't make Optimus Prime? My answer to that is Fortune Electric also doesn't make fortune cookies. Even though we don't produce Optimus Prime or Decepticons, I know my kids will love me a lot more if we did. But we do produce pole pen-mounted transformer for distribution, medium voltage for solar, wind, geothermal, to our largest 500 kV, 800 MVA power transformers for power generation, data center, and anything in between. All our products are made in Taiwan. Even with the less favorable Trans-Pacific transit time, we stay competitive and efficient to serve our customers here in the US. Today, around 60% of our overall products end up here in the US. If you are here for a speech on energy transition, I'm sorry you are at the wrong place. Instead, what I want to talk about today is not so much on the energy transition itself. It's more about the fundamental building block of such transition, especially from an equipment manufacturer point of view, on how we overcome challenges during an upswing. Without such essential building block, lack of equipment delivery being the bottleneck, there wouldn't be such transition and improvement of the way we utilize energy. Fortune has been in business for almost 6 decades. We actually have a very humble beginning. We started out our business as a small family-owned repair shop for a local utility. As we repair all these units, we realized, hey, it's not that hard to make transformers. The only way we don't want them to fail is just over-design and over-engineering everything. So some of these units are still alive today. Of course, we don't do that anymore. But started out as a repair shop, as all our competitors are very eager to make brand new units for our customers, we know there are more than one way to serve our customers. With the blessing of the market demand and the relentless improvement of our strategies, I'm very happy to share with you that the capital market sees Fortune's valuation increased by 20% in the last 3 years. Since 2022, we increased our overall company revenue by 30 to 40% year after year. We made a very decent return for our investors. Investors, VC, it's still not too late to put your trust in us. Students, we are hiring. We all understand that when the demand increases, the entire industry will benefit. Lead time will likely to increase throughout the entire supply chain. All manufacturers participate in such demand surge will have some sort of backlog on their orders. Today, our lead time depends on the product itself, from the original 6 to 10 months to today's 3 to 4 years. That's right. If you order something with me today, you won't see your product in 4 years. We get to where we are today, not purely by luck or fortune. I'm here to share with you our secret, our journey of taking on actions, embracing challenges, ride the wave and not left behind. Here is our story. In 2021, at the tail end of COVID-19, with the surge of demand of consumer electronics and the way our lifestyle changes, pairing with a reduced transportation vessels in operation resulted a very volatile logistic market. In a matter of weeks, sometimes even days, the logistic costs that to ship our product doubled, tripled, even quadrupled. All of a sudden, the freight costs that we quoted a year ago can't even cover our costs anymore. We were facing a significant loss on each of these projects. My team was given the impossible task to ask our customers to help. You know, nobody likes to call your customer and ask for money. At a minimum, we need to let them know what we were facing. As expected, 50% of the customer inform us, well, as much as I understand your situation, a contract is a contract. Sorry, I can't help. On the contrary, the other 50% of our customer amend the contract, put some sort of incentive and to cover our cost and make us whole. We always understand not all customers are created equal. However, at that point in time, we fully realize this type of Class A customer, they don't want the relationship to be transactional, and the well-being of our organization is also important to them. We characterize these kind of Class A customer as someone who needs us as much as we need them. Someone who sees the well-being of a supplier equally important as a supplier sees his customer. Interestingly enough, in the year of 2022, the market switched. With the thrive of renewable energy projects, data centers, infrastructure aging, even crypto mining, the shortage of electrical equipment gradually switched the market from a buyer's market to a seller's market. This was a perfect opportunity for us to give back to our Class A's and resolve their pain. Our biggest mandate for that year was to return the favor of our Class A's. Not saying that we will leave the rest of our customer hanging, but have that power to make a selection is critical. We were dedicated to spend 80% of our time on 20% of our core customers. Similar to how a Class A sees fortune, our customers' uninterrupted supply of equipment is also important to us. With a decent demand in the market and customers knocking on our door for faster and more units to be delivered, we start to think, what can we do to maximize our production? For starters, or from our original 1.5 shifts, we increased it to 2, 3 shifts, even 4 shifts today, including weekends and holidays. Our factory right now runs 24/7, all day, 7 days a week. We were able to maximize the utilization of our facility to the fullest. However, that's still not enough. With the industrial engineering methods and smart factory concepts, we create digital twins of our shop to mimic and analyze the bottleneck of our each process. Without utilizing such technology, we would have just trial and error through that whole thing, then the chance of disappointment is rather high. Through simulation, we accurately predict and modify our shop flow. Utilizing automated guided vehicles, AGV, those little robotic cars walking around your factory, we eliminated our shop workers' movement, relocating material and finished complete products from one station to another. Pairing with smart and robotic temporary storage system, we're able to reduce the manufacturing time and eliminate double handling. We even utilize big data on all the units that flow through our production floor, so we can accurately predict the difference between design and the actual product, so we can maximize the characteristics of each batch of materials. Digitalization enables us to further analyze each shop worker's performance and proactively prevent mistakes during manufacturing. Our goal is to squeeze out every single possibility to maximize our production. With this fast-paced production schedule, just-in-time delivery of components and material wouldn't just work. So So we have to change the methodology of our procurement process as well. A safety level of inventory is absolutely necessary. Artificial intelligence also help us to predict our inventory levels. With our current backlog of orders, handling short lead time projects becomes one of our fortes. With key account management, taking priority on premium production capability, we ensure our Class A are served promptly. With overlap in all our manufacturing facilities, moving units around, collaborating between facilities, enable us to further create potential early deliveries to suit the project needs. By implementing all these measures, we successfully increased our production by 300% in the last 3 years. To sustain our growth and serve our customers' needs, today, we have an expansion of our facility under construction with these smart factory concepts already in the development phase. With that, we should be able to double our capacity by end of this year. Throughout these boosts of production, we stay extremely close to our customers here in the US. Working with one of the major utility here in the US, with transparent discussion on everybody's needs and wants, we jointly determined that instead of building a manufacturing facility here in the US, we're better suited their needs by providing a 6-month worth of inventory in a US storage facility. With first in, first out inventory management and steady replenishment of new units, their need is 100% fulfilled. This is just another great example of us solving the pain point and thinking outside of the box. Without such interaction, both parties wouldn't walk away with a solution with minimal compromises. Of course, we consider building a US warehouse as our phase 1. Either building a facility here or not, it's really dependent on our customers' needs. To serve our customer better, we move our sales and service cycle much earlier in the process. We get involved during the project planning phase as early as possible. As an organization, we love to provide free pre-sale service when others don't. We encourage our customer to exercise us during their planning and budgetary phase. To speed up the delivery and reduce lead time, we will start our projects much earlier before we actually get in order. Even with production slot reservations, being tailored and transparent on where we are on our factory loadings, we partner with our customers very early. There is a popular saying within our organization: if you resolve your customers' issues, they will resolve your issue of not having enough orders. We not only exercise this concept internally, but we also pass it down to our entire supply chain. We spend a good amount of time looking for partners who have similar value as us. This team concept rooted deeply within our organization. Of course, we didn't come up with all these on our own. Learning from industry leaders and other successful business bring us inspiring ideas. Knowledge and drive to success are the only limitations to any organization. Staying in our comfort zone, that's not where we want to be in this market. Through technology alliance, partnership, we learn from our partners all over the globe on their technology, know-how, their values, and their strategies. Not every single aspect is a good match for Fortune. Through careful selection, adjustment, and redeployment, we fine-tune our way of doing things for the better. Also, as an organization, we view the other industry leader quite differently compared to our peers. We do not see them as competition. Rather, we see them as someone we can model after. All industries are led by a handful of influential players. In our eyes, there is no competition. They're just companies that we haven't partnered up with yet. Many of the companies that are present today in this event are our partners. Strata, Dominion, Duke, Hitachi Energy, just to name a few. Our industry is very cyclical. It is typically slightly behind the overall economy. This cycle often repeats itself. A development or technology advancement in different markets mimic each other. A technology developed here in the US will eventually find its adaptation in other parts of the world. A popular energy sector that is prevalent in another part of the world eventually will find its way to US or vice versa. Solar, geothermal, wind, especially offshore wind, are a great example of such progression. By dissecting any of these developments, one can foresee what might come its way in the future. In a way, we are previewing the newspaper of tomorrow and predicting the trend of upcoming years. With this critical information, an organization can get a jump start on its planning, business decision, partnership, and relationship development in a very, very early stage. By the time this trend is already in place and widely talked about at dinner tables, the early birds already picked their partners and ready for execution. This leap is invaluable, especially we're at this cusp of energy transition. Of course, without the market surge, change or efficiency improvement might not even be feasible or necessary. At least the payoff of such investment will be very minimal. We're very lucky that the market has aided us in making all these possible. Being part of this positive cycle, sales, marketing efforts, bringing more business result more R&D, more funding for R&D, and in turn bring us even more business. This positive cycle will propel any organization to its full ability. With our expansion, investment in R&D, partnership with industry leaders, in the last few decades, we have come up with low noise transformers, energy efficient transformers, environmentally friendly transformers with sea oil, gas insulated switch with clean air with no harming SF6, containerized transformer and inverter packages for solar projects. We even took part on offshore wind projects. We have built floating solar on lakes, reservoir, now in the middle of the ocean. We're also responsible for 30% plus on all the energy used in the state of Virginia. We're also supplying two of the largest data centers that's being constructed here in the US, one in Texas, another one in northern Indiana. These development and evolvement result a very unique DNA for Fortune Electric. We stay humble and we adjust our strategy because there is always room to be better. We like Darwin's theories on evolution a lot. It's not the strongest will survive. It's the one that adapts the best will prevail. The harder we work, the luckier, more fortunate we get. I hope the last 25 minutes inspires you. At least it helps you know a little bit more about Fortune Electric and our journey. I hope to partner and cross paths with each one of you on your journey to success. Thank you very much. I guess we'll open up for Q&A. And I don't have any momochis, I'm sorry. No questions, just make my job easier. Yes, please.
How would you see the electric differentiates itself in power transformer industries?
How do we differentiate ourselves in the power transformer industry? That's a very good question. And when we do sales calls, we often get asked that kind of question. A lot of our competitors, even our customers, they see transformer as a commodity. So pricing, delivery is important. I'm not saying that's not important. However, I do believe no matter what business you're in, we're always in the people business. People is still the fundamental thing that will drive that industry. So we can be very price competitive. Our lead time can be very short, but if we cannot work with people, we're going nowhere. So technology itself is important, but at the same time, the way we run our business, our company culture, and how we interact with our customer, how we solve our customer's pain point, provide solution, I think these are the strong suit of Fortune Electric. And I think that's the differentiation between us and some of our competitors. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Alex, I have a question. Yesterday we had at several presentations the bottleneck for our industry, for AI, for data centers is time. And I think Mark Mitchell mentioned that it takes now 3-4 years, and you said it again, to get a transformer, right? So even if everything else works, the energy is there, we cannot get transformers, everything gets delayed by years. So the 3-4 years you mentioned, despite of all the progress you made on the productivity side, are still not sufficient. And other transformer manufacturers have the same challenge. For us as an industry, on the renewable side, power generation side, to move faster. I always felt, yesterday we had a panel with 4 people here that talked about China, that in China everything moves much, much faster than over here on the western side. But we have not been able, as companies, our company, utilities, we are all frustrated by the fact that we cannot get transformers faster, quality products. I would agree with you that your service is probably best in class.
Thank you.
And your product is best in class, but 3 or 4 years lead time is not good. So what has to happen for you guys to double down, create more capacity? Because we saw that energy upswing that we have never seen since World War II in the last 80 years. Now it's a hockey stick. What do you guys do to support that growth of the global power industry, not just renewables, but gas and everything else that's happening?
Thank you, Marcus, for that question. From the capital expenditure point of view, we're doing everything that we can. By the end of this year, we will have an extension of our current facility. And by the end of next year, we're going to double down on our ultra high voltage plan. So we'll double our capacity. But still, it's not enough. Still not enough. And the only thing that we can do is being selective. There are Class A's, our key customers. We try to get in with them early. We'll try to get into your projects as early as we can. So we know these projects are real, these projects will happen, and how do we start? Because not just us. We can easily build a new facility somewhere in the world, but the entire supply chain is being stressed. It's easier for us to build a facility, but if our supply chain is not following through, providing us with material, component, and all these other things, we're going nowhere. So getting with our customers early, understand their project needs, and start allocating our production capability according to you. We can't make everybody happy, but at least what we can do is making our key customers, such as Strata, happy. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's a people business. We have to like each other in order to do that business. So, we're very glad the market is treating us this way, but at the same time, we got to do what we can do.
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. Last year, the Department of Energy issued new energy efficiency standards for distribution transformers. And one of the things, so I'm interested in your comment on that, how that impacts you all. And secondly, one of the things that I feel is actually a unifying theme between the last administration and this administration, the current one, is the interest in boosting domestic manufacturing and onshoring supply chains here in the United States. As you all look for this growth and following on that last question, do you think that the tax credits, the manufacturing tax credits that were enabled in the Inflation Reduction Act are an incentive for you all to consider the United States as expanding your manufacturing base and bringing that supply here to the U.S.?
Somehow I feel that question will come up.
That's it.
As an overseas manufacturer, people will always asking us, when are you coming? When are you coming building a facility here? We actually seriously consider building a facility here sometime last year. But sitting down with our customer, we understand they not only want us to build a facility here, what they're really looking for is have some faster lead time, lower price. They want everything the best of the best. But in reality is this, for Fortune to build a facility anywhere in the world is not hard. But transformer is still considered a labor-intensive manufacturing process. So the skilled labor that required, plus all the entire supply chain. We not only have to bring our factory here or bring our company over here, we have to bring the entire supply chain with us. That including our tank, our silicon steel, copper wire, blah, 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 all these companies. So it's a big task. And on the energy efficiency side, on DOE requirements, interestingly enough, that when we first attacked this market on distribution transformers, our prices was significantly higher, and we couldn't figure out why. They end up, the way we build transformer is much more efficient than how people build transformers here. So instead of using copper, we change our material to aluminum. So that reduce our costs and also make us competitive, make us on par with others. So what I'm getting to is this: if you want energy efficient, can be easily done. That's all on the design level. But right now we're at the very interesting time that efficiency being one thing, the supply is another. Everybody is shorter transformers, and design become a little bit secondary. So, like I said, this is a fundamental building block of such transition. Help us so we can help you. We're good? All right, thank you very much.
Just a time.